Oh, wait.
There you
Recording
go,
is in
Fireboy.
progress. My toast was based off a little bit of Joe's toast that he is usually given, that will be read a little bit later by James. But to start us off, to brothers past, present, and free as what we may be, may we learn from each other, see the best in each other, and dream big, big, and big. So big that is because there is no limit. We speak wisely together, we imagine success together, and let us continue to forge together our own free range path. Here's to Delta Sigma Pi, and here's to Flag.
Cheers. Who would like to go next?
I can go, Vito.
Go ahead, great. Howie.
Yeah, I know. I was just taking a deep breath, keep the tears out. The world is better because you dwelt upon it, Reuben. I am grateful that we shared a friendship and a bond that will never be broken. Thank you so much for introducing me and my wife, Laura. And yes, you were so fondly of reminding us that you are responsible. From the days of you and Laura at UNLV, when she was your pledge educator at MUNU, to all the fraternity events, the airport pickups and drop offs, the quick phone calls just to say hello, from Omaha to Houston to Hawaii and everywhere in between, you are truly Ohana. For those of you that don't know what Ohana is, it's Hawaiian for family. And the thing about being with Reuben, he had this incredible gift. When you were with him, you felt like you were the most important person in the room. That was his kindness, his generosity, his genuine curiosity about who you are. And then, just when you needed the most, that wicked sense of humor would show up, quick, sharp, and guaranteed to make you laugh. I will forever remember April 25th, 2026 as Reuben's Delta Sigma Pi National Alumni Day celebration. It certainly won't be our last. However, we will be comforted that Reuben will always be looking down upon us on April 25th and every day. I'm sure Reuben would be looking at all of us right now and saying, "What are you guys doing? I don't deserve this. I was just being what I was supposed to be." Exactly, Reuben. I wish we were all more like you, treating us the way we want to be treated. As they say in Guam, half a day, Reuben.
Who's next?
So, Gil, Gil,
Thank you. Okay. I met Dick 40, almost 46 years ago. This short would have met him in September of this year, 46 years. Dick Parnitsky was my regional director. He was there to interview every prospective pledge for Alpha Kappa chapter. He was present when he needed to be present, and he stayed in the background when it was appropriate for a leader to stay in the background. I remember him being at my initiation and playing an incredibly believable role. So much so that I almost had my badge ripped off my shirt at that point, ready to throw it all away, because he went through a perfect rendition of what it was to be a brother, what it really meant, and how we could really debate and stand our ground. And I wasn't sure that's how Delta Sigs behaved with each other. but in truth, it was the right thing because you fight for what's important for your brotherhood and what's right for the fraternity. Dick was there to say, go to regional events, go to national events, meet the brothers, whether you're an officer or not, go, be there. And when you have to step away, come back when you can. I've lived that, and it's all thanks to Dick Parnitsky. I appreciate his time. He was there numerous times when we needed to just talk, get through things. We took him to breakfast. We stayed out all night, took him to breakfast, returned him home to his wife. We were there when he lost Jackie, and we celebrated when he found Diane. We support Diane in her grief, and Kathy and Lisa as they mourn their father. Dick, you were a wonderful brother. Brother Tiffany, who I learned was a brother after 20 years of going to church with this man who was a friend of my parents, who was Dick's cohort in crime in the chapter. Gary Marshke, Art Rago, several other brothers. We all will miss you more than you know. And we wish you well. We hope you are totally healed and enjoying your life, reunited with Jackie, eventually with Diane as well. The best to you, brother. You made this fraternity everything, and the journey has been awesome. I hope we live up to what you expect of us in the years ahead. Thanks, Dick. Take and do.
Thank you, Gail. He was my past grand president when I pledged.
Do you remember the take and do counts? Technicality won the last one.
I do remember his hearty laugh and his, at times, directness.
Yes.
I can go. So for Ruben, who I met my first GCC in Seattle, after that, he bought a Pearl and Ruby badge for my graduation present from college out of his own pocket. Still have that to this day. He'd randomly call me out of nowhere just to check in, see how things were going. In Palm Springs, he let us borrow his truck for a few of us to go over to the grocery store to go get provisions for the week so we didn't have to order out all the time. He was always willing to donate his truck for anything because he also drove some of us to Costco and Sam's Club to get the items for the community service event. He was always willing to help, always there for the fraternity. And I know Space City today, they had their crawfish boil for, then they were honoring him there because he was a huge donor to the Space City Houston Alumni Chapter Scholarship. And he would want us to donate to that or to the Veterans Fund since he was a veteran. So in honor of Alumni Day, I will be donating to both of those funds for him and hope you guys will also. To Ruben.
Thank you, Molly. You triggered a memory from excuse me, from Palm Springs. And Ruben cornered me and he handed me a little jewelry box and said, "Would you give this to Laura?" And it was his Pearl and Ruby badge with Mew New badge guard. And he wanted well, he loved Laura, but he wanted the last of the Mew News to make sure someone had that. So I will always remember that. I have a funny story about Dick Bernitsky, and Gail, you might appreciate this. And when I was on the national board as a PVP, and I won't say who, and I won't say where, but we appointed Dick a trial chair. It was a national trial. And since everything there is confidential, I won't say anything else more than that, other than Dick's message back to us was, what in the hell were you guys thinking of? We, the not guilty, we're done. Nice, short, and sweet, and a little rebuke to our national board about why we even thought it was necessary to waste his time with that.
I remember Dallas, and Dick was he was elected in Denver. In Dallas, he wasn't running. John Hennick was running against Mickey Johnson for grand president. And in Dallas, the hotel was lovely, and the brothers had been up to our usual fun. And lobby furnishings had been moved into an elevator. And here comes Dick and Jackie, his first wife, down to the banquet, sitting on the settee with the lamp. It's quite the picture. And the doors open and there's security to take custody of the furnishings that have been wrongfully moved into the elevators. And Dick took it in stride. It was an interesting conference, but he took it, he understood it, and I'm glad he saw the humor in it.
Prior to the phone call, there was a conversation, informal conversation among some of us, and it had come up that this weekend sucks because it's National Alumni Day, and here we are doing remembrances. But I think National Alumni Day, part of National Alumni Day is we made an active choice to stay active. This is beyond 4 years for the ones that were traditionally initiated. And as we all get older, this is going to happen more often. And if you've been in the fraternity long enough, this weekend's another speed bump in the life of Delta Sigma Pi. I think all we can do is just continue to feel honored that these people that have passed, that they called us brother. And I think our mission going forward is that we should continue to be honorable in their memory so that they know they made an impact on us. That's why this weekend has, the importance of this weekend hasn't diminished, it's increased.
Well said, Arnell. That's probably the words. I've been sitting here trying to figure out something along those lines of saying something along the lines of the same thing. We said, as it was said in the presentation of the memorial, about let us do as they have done. There's not, their lives were not in vain. We are here when we do this as brothers because we all mean something to each other and all serve a common bond. They served their lives and they served their purpose. Now, as they have gone to rest, we continue to live our purpose. We are making we could be making similar impacts. I have no doubt in my mind, we are making similar impacts to others as they have made to us. And to honor that, we move forward. We persevere. We continue to do the reach outs. We continue to go. We continue to be present. And that is how we move forward and we move on. We want to ensure that we are the best version of ourselves that we can be. All of us, as we age, as we move forward, we're going to experience things later that. And sometimes and as I know, I think with Ruben specifically, I know Molly has shared this very openly, just learned about this a week ago. So there are things that people are going through that you may not know that they're going through, but they still show up and they're still doing their thing. So we should do no less and be respectful of each other to know that we may be going through struggles, we may be going through our own trials. And that may not be public knowledge, but we're still here. So while we are here, while we have breath in our bodies, continue to push forward and treasure these relationships we have formed over the years. Continue to make this fraternity the best that it can be and to make our lives the best it can be. Because somebody is watching, somebody is listening, someone is being impacted by your every move, your every voice, your every sound. So make every time you use it count and don't waste it on the petty stuff. Cheers to all of our brothers who have passed on. And we look forward to all the new memories that we're going to make moving forward. Love you, Delta Sigma Pi. I love you, brothers. Cheers to all.
I will say I just realized something. I at GCC I said James Coon and Cody were two of the snazziest looking guys, respectively, at GCC. But looking back at photos today, I think Joe beat both of them with that red bow tie, guys. Just saying. You look back at the photo that's on his the graphic I made for Lori. You did look good, James, and Cody. Only you could pull off that pink flamingo jacket, but I think Joe had both of you guys beat with that red bow tie and his newsy hat. So
Mm.
I think the belated crown has to go to him between the three of us.
You're sleeping on Derek's suit, though.
Derek is in a whole nother range himself. James and Cody can't compare to him. But there's the brothers here, and there's he in a different dress bracket than Cody and James. Let's be real for a moment. They still
Somewhere
got
in the
like 10
Delta
years
Sig,
until they get there.
somewhere in the Delta Sig multiverse, Vito's saying that Derek gets credit, so don't worry about it.
I mean, you got Derek, you got Paul Brody. I mean,
And
there's some
that,
people you just can't compete with.
that's how you live in the mood right there. That's hysterical.
Howie, didn't all of you wear like something at this last one in
Yes,
Palm Springs?
the white coat family. Yeah.
Both Palm Springs, by the way.
Yep. The OG of Palm Springs. Yep. Both times. That's right.
Well, I just thought of a memory from when we were last in New Orleans, because when I flew out, I was actually on the same flight as Ruben. And Jerry, is that where I met you, or was it another brother? Because there was somebody on our flight, because Ruben was up in first class. I was not. But he sent drinks back to us that were not in first class, so that we had that on the flight. They're like, normally we don't allow this, but we're allowing it this time.
I'm
But
surprised he didn't give you your seat.
so yeah, but then he had somebody come pick us up and we went to Costco, got waters and food for the week because we were there for 8 days. So
Well, I am thankful that last Wednesday, after we got the news that he wasn't doing well, that Laura and I Wednesday morning called Ruben and said hello, told him how much we cared about him and that everybody cared about him, and that uh, he seemed to brighten up a little bit. And it only lasted about 5 minutes because it did exhaust him for that 5 minutes. And I sent him a text every day until today.
by the way, there's somebody in the lobby, Vito. But no, when he texted me and told me, I asked him my first question to him, how are you doing? What can I do to help? And he's like, I'm scared. But thankful he let me know so I could at least text him like you had to make sure he knew we were all there.
Well, we can all take comfort that he was with someone at the end that he cared about more than all of us, frankly. And his daughter was there holding his hand in the end.
I remember when Lori texted me telling me Joe what happened with Joe, and honestly, I thought she got her wires crossed because I had just talked to Joe like 2 days prior. So I was like, "Are you sure that's what his daughter said?" That I don't know. I was in shock at that point. And then I still don't have all of I still can't recount everything, but I remember like I started thinking back to when I was Joe offered to have me come out to Arizona for my college graduation. And I remember telling him and Lori I'm probably not gonna go because I'm not gonna go. And Lori was like, "Well, if you really don't want to go, you don't have to, but it'll be a good experience and you really earned it and all that other stuff." And then Joe said, "What do you mean you're not going? You're definitely going and you're gonna stay with me and Helen." And it wasn't a suggestion. It was one of those voluntold things. Like, you're coming, get your flights together, and that's all there is to it. I honestly didn't take him very seriously. Like, who's gonna like I just didn't take him seriously. But I went back and looked at messages and he like you can see a stream of messages from him to me just saying, Vito, did you book your flight? Hey, it's starting to be that time frame. And there's like screenshots of him looking up flights from Boston to Arizona. And I'm assuming there were probably phone calls in between there, but he was a very insistent man. I will say that. And like when he unfortunately passed away, I think I may have been on the phone with James or Cody, and I was like, wow, this is if he was here, he'd probably be telling us to buck up and keep moving on with our lives, just like some of you guys have said. And it's just like to be so up there in age, Joe was a feisty one. He just had that spirit about him. Even when even in Palm Springs, like I knew he wasn't getting around great, but he just, I swear he had the fire in him that a man 1/3 of his age had. And it's just, I still think about him often. I'm glad we got to see him in Palm Springs. I'm glad we got to give him and Lori that gift we gave him with that thing we got him. And I will say, planning the Alumni Day Toast was hard this year because it was like knowing he wasn't not just going to be on to do his toast was hard, but also just knowing he wasn't with us anymore was hard. But now thinking that 6 years ago, most of us met him on a Alumni Day Toast, there's something very comforting about it. But also now who's going to give us all a good kick in the butt when me, Cody, and James are not acting right or want to be too spunky. So yeah, rest in peace, Joe.
And realistically, that's the moment where we have to give each other the kick in the butt we need to move on. As horrible, as hard as it is, not horrible, but hard as it is.
Does anyone have any other words to say about any of the deceased brothers or just any general Alumni Day, brotherly, loving toast and all that?
I have one more thing, Vito,
Yeah.
and I don't think we say this enough, and I don't say it lightly when I say the world is better because they dwelt upon it. But I do want to say to each and every one of you that's on the Zoom, the world is better because you dwell in it. Thank you.
Now, were you trying to make us all cry? We were all pretty much keeping it together and now you got to start your mess. No, you're the best.
I
Jerry
swear,
did. I
I
saw
was
you.
doing good till Howie went there. You get on my nerves, Howie. You get on my nerves.
No, but I think we owe it to our brothers to tell them that.
Correct.
And because we don't know what our brothers are going through, and I think there's brothers who need to hear it.
And they don't call me Barbara Walters for nothing.
You know what?
We love you.
Barbara Wawa.
Yeah.
Just to say that I got to room with Joe in Palm Springs, so it was only for a couple nights, but it was told me a few cool stories. So
And I know it's hard to hear, and it's sometimes waffles between, gosh, we're sharing things on Facebook and we're telling people, but it's important to let us know when somebody's in need. If there's a brother in need, send the message, let people know so that we can help. Um, sometimes our help comes too late, which sucks, but if we can, I think there's brothers out there more than willing to roll up their sleeves, help, open the checkbook, help, do things. And it's hard. And sometimes we just don't know. So I appreciate the brothers who have made that tough decision and the tough call to share the meal trains and the other things that are coming out. I may not know the brother, but there are times it's like clearly help is needed, and we do what we can. And I'm not alone in that.
Well said, you know.
Jerry, did you want to say something? I thought I saw your hand. I may be seeing stuff.
Please, thank you. I wish I'd have known Dick Parnitsky or Cora. I may have met him a time or two, but was able to meet Joe and Ruben several occasions. Same thing as everyone has said. Ruben was always concerned about everybody else. I remember hearing him talk. We had a conversation in Palm Springs of, yeah, I just let some brothers take my truck and go get some stuff. So that was always cool. He'd always looking out for us as brothers. And Joe, same thing. I was in Phoenix with him. Excuse me, getting all choked up here. One of the last, pardon me, one of the last points I remember Joe, after everything was done, everybody was saying goodbyes and leaving and such. And he may have had to leave early, but I'm behind him walking out of the ballroom area. And he stopped mid-track and looked over and Gracie Campbell was over by the water station. And you've probably told this to some of you before, but he stopped and went over and whispered something to her, said something to her, and walked out. And looking back, that makes me wonder, maybe he knew something, but he was always wanting to greet people as well. So, and along the lines of what others have said, how we do appreciate that. I am, it's an honor to have you as my brothers, all of you. And I thank you for allowing me to be a part of this with you. Happy Alumni Day, everybody.
In the Facebook chat, I just found it because daily I've been searching. Cora King does have an obituary. It finally went to print. I just posted it. So, and I haven't even read through it. I was just surprised to see that there was finally a complete obituary posted for her. I was never her DD, but I was DD of her chapter 20 years ago. New Upsilon at West Virginia University was my first assignment. And for several years, I've probably been to about 15, 16 of their initiations just to help out or whatever. But one of the last initiations I went to at New Upsilon was when Cora was president. Again, for those that didn't know, Cora has a 14 month old infant. And as far as what had happened with her, don't know why, but on a Tuesday, she had a cardiac arrest. She was only 27 years old. By Thursday, they're already talking about taking her off a ventilator. And by Saturday or Sunday, she was gone. Had some conversations about people that have passed, not only just brothers, but the unique thing is some people, when they know the end is near, they mellow. They realize that, okay, if I'm going to leave this world, I don't want my last memory to be of me yelling at you, me being bitchy or anything. I want to leave on a good note. This is when, like, you realize mortality sucks sometimes because you think you're bulletproof. You think you're still 20. I mean, heck, it just hit me. I'm turning 59 this year. And that means my parents, they were married a year before I was born. They're having their 60th anniversary on the 18th of June. So I can be very immature and act like a 20-year-old, but we're all getting older. I lucked out. Chad and I this past weekend, we were at our chapter's 35th Rose Dance, Rose Event, Rose Formal, whatever you want to call it. But the cool thing was, other than the current collegiates, we had an abnormal amount of alumni that go way back that showed up. And it was cool to see them in the room. And for the collegiates to see them going, holy crap, okay. We're a unique breed. I mean, you see it just in the workplace where they come into the workplace, in their eyes, staying a long time is 2-3 years. To us, you're not going to see too many people that stay at a job 20-30 years anymore. So we're a unique breed. Some of us, we're at 20-30 years with a fraternity or more. And a lot of these collegiates would like come up and ask me, and it's like, how long have you been in this? How long have you been going at this? And they don't see themselves as a 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, or 90-year-old still talking about 3 Greek letters. And they're like, why? And I was like, it goes beyond the ritual book. It goes beyond the colors. It goes beyond all that. It's all based on the bonds that we make with each other. And that's what makes all of this mean something. That's what, when we leave an impact. And like I said, everybody that I'm seeing as I'm scrolling on my iPad, everybody I see here, I have a story, except Jody, I apologize. I don't know you that well. And I'm an OG frac person, but life gets busy. I have disappeared. I don't show up as often as I did, but okay. Everybody, Jody, you know, catch up at some point. I know stuff about, and I have a personal connection with, and I couldn't be luckier and feel more privileged and be more thankful. And on this Alumni Day, on behalf of everybody who cannot join us on this Zoom, thank you.
Thank you, Arno. Appreciate everything you've done and continue to do.
Well, I thought
Speaking
James
of,
Coombe was going to be the problem with making people cry, but well,
Well, if we keep
unhappily,
going long enough,
yeah.
we'll find a way to get there.
I was gonna say, speaking of Cora, um, I know I had posted something about like the meal train thing on Facebook and everything, and I know my mom had seen it and everything, and um, I don't know, like it had, like New Upsilon was her chapter and stuff like that, but with her not being a brother or knowing anything like that or really looking into it, she didn't realize that it's WVU's chapter, but I had saw her for Pete's first birthday party, and she was asking me like that girl and everything from Hurricane, which is where I went to high school. Um, but it was one of those things like it took me a second, and I was like, I actually, okay, yeah, I do remember meeting Cora and everything like that, but it was, much like a lot of the conferences that we go to and everything. It's, you talk to somebody for like a quick minute and everything like that or whatever, but it's like you remember the person, how they made you feel kind of thing, but you may not always remember all the details, or at least I know for me it's difficult, um, but yeah, I do remember talking to her and everything like that, and it's kind of like, all right, we have people from West Virginia that are, trying to make the state better, and you know, like we had that little connection there. But yeah, I told her, basically I just met her through um, Delta Sig and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So um, I think it, may have kind of was like, oh, okay, this just wasn't like, it's one of those things like it really does
It's
mean the people that allow it to. So yeah, but I just wanted to throw that in and everything like that. Yeah, I was going through with my sister last night on the phone and everything, uh, just about how rough of a week this has been, and I don't think it's so much like I know like I don't know that I ever got to like really sit down with Ruben or Dick or um like I said, Cora is just kind of in passing and everything like that. Joe, we got to meet him through track and everything like that, and I got to see him out in Palm Springs and stuff like that. But even then, it's one of those things, like I said, just limited time and everything that you really get to sit down and enjoy people's company and everything like that. But
rare phrase for her.
I know, like through the frac chat and stuff like that, you see how much of an impact all these people make on others. So it's still it's hard to know that there's somebody in the brotherhood or many people that are hurting because of their relationships that they've built with these people over the years. So I know those of you that were closer to the individuals and everything,
Mm-mm.
um, You know, my heart breaks for you, and it breaks for everybody in our brotherhood. So nothing else to make myself cry. So there you go.
Folks, don't be ashamed if you're crying. Jim Valvano, in his 1993 ESPY speech, yes, I'm reading this off of Google, but I thought of this as soon as Vito said, "Oh, great, James is going to make us cry." He said that you got to be moved to tears out of happiness, out of joy, out of sadness. It's essential to a fulfilling day. And it, don't worry, it doesn't mean that you're not as strong. It just means that those people meant something, and or it show emotion. Holding it in doesn't do anything except burn yourself inside. Let people know you care.
Well, let people know you care and let us help you. Let us help them. I wouldn't have known that the family needed help, that there's a baby that needs some help and support because mom's not going to be there anymore. And so sharing that with the brothers so that we can be there for a brother in need lets us do what we're supposed to do. And I think it helps to have that personal plea to help a brother in need or the family of a brother in need, the family that's in need, so that we can do what we are here to do. So I appreciate that being out there. I saw it from James, I saw it from Arnell, I saw it from other people throughout the year, through the years. You know, we're the good news is we're a big brotherhood. The bad news is we're a big brotherhood and we don't know what each other needs. So let us know so we can help. And we can celebrate the good stuff.
Amen, Gail. And I think we should all remember that it's not going to be too long. I know it's not this summer, but it's the following summer. We're all going to be together again at Grand Chapter Congress. We're going to laugh again. We're going to tell stories again. And when we're all together, we're going to have a great time because that's what Ruben would expect of us. That's what Dick would expect of us. That's what Joe would expect of us. That's what Cora would expect of us.
Yeah.
But it's our challenge and it's our responsibility to live up to the memories that we're being given. They showed us how to make people feel seen, how to lead with kindness, how to bring joy to a room. And those memories aren't just something that we hold on to, but we carry it forward. We pay it forward. And that's our responsibility. So the next time we all get together, let's just bring that same spirit. And every day, let's carry on with that spirit. That's their challenge to us. Make someone else feel like they're the most important person in the room. Let's laugh a little louder, care a little deeper, show up a little better. That's how we honor them. It's something that we could say that we lift them up while we're honoring them tonight. And I hope we all remember that and we carry that forward and we move on because they would want us to.
Yep. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Thank you.
And highlighting that point again, how you kind of mentioned it in that speech you just gave. We know New Orleans is coming, but as the brothers that we're honoring tonight not be joining us there, none of us are promised that either. So, like you just got through saying, make every moment count because we're who we got today. We are who we have today. So every day from now on, be there for each other because we're who we have today. We would love to think that every last one of us will be celebrating with each other in New Orleans in 2027. But as we have just learned from these brothers and brothers that have gone on before us, that's not guaranteed. So let's be there every day. and do what you can while you're here. Because that is who we are, and that's the pledge we took. That's what those brothers did. So we should do the same.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, well said by all of you. It's hard, but you gotta live on, right? That's all we can do at the end of the day. Uh, Sarah, Paul, I know you guys are off camera, but you guys had something?
Yeah, I just wanted to toast to our brotherhood. We have all been through a lot of highs, and brothers have been there to celebrate. But as we're seeing right now, we've also been through a lot of lows, and brothers have always been there to support all of us. So I want to remember our brotherhood in both the high points, the low points, everything in between, that we're here to support, we're here to celebrate. And I know no matter what I need, that my brothers are here. So I'm raising my glass now to brothers, our brotherhood, to Frack, to the brothers that have gone before us, and to all the brothers that'll come ahead of us. So cheers to everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Adam?
So the reason I was late tonight is continuing on the kind of life is short thing. I have a friend from Penn State who I met when I was up there, and she's 2 months younger than me. She already beat breast cancer once a few years ago, and then over the new year, test results, she gets tested, and it looks like breast cancer is back, and she's fighting it again. And so I didn't get really a chance to hang out with her at all during the last few months because of tax season, but finally got the chance to. We went down and hung out and grabbed dinner and just got to talk. And who knows? I mean, she's fighting hard, but it's just you never know. And hopefully she beats it again. But just honoring and just spending time with her as much as I can. And I know she goes back up to Pittsburgh for the summer, so I just wanted to hang out with her. And like I said, because you never know what's going to happen, and hopefully she can beat it again. But like I said, we never know. So, cheers, l'chaim, to life, and to like we're not all guaranteed we'll be at New Orleans. Hopefully, we all will. But like you said, life sucks.
And we celebrate being present.
Yeah, it can suck.
Celebrate the time you have, because like you said, you don't know what tomorrow has the storm.
Yeah.
We're all dwelling.
Yeah.
I gotta go too, guys. I got a family I have to serve dinner to. So cheers.
Makes sense.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks, Howie.
Nice
And
to
I
see
did-
you,
and
Howie.
I-
Thank
It's
you.
good to see you, brother.
You too. And
Love
I
you,
also want
Howie.
to say, love you all.
Love you,
Love
Howie.
you too. Take care.
The
Bye.
next one.
I guess anyone else before me and James wrap this one up?
Go for it.
All right. Well, I think I'll make the Chicago announcement and then do my toast and then hand it over to Coon for Old Man Joe's toast. Um, I think everybody on this call knows Brother Tyrone Newsom, Boston Alumni Chapter, formerly Zeta Xi. He's been really pushing for something to happen this summer, which is why he wanted the Alumni Summit and Frat Congress. And basically, he's made the decision it's going to be kind of just it's going to be Frat Congress without the shenanigans, mainly because Cody's not the one planning what we do, so we'll all be safe. But it's the weekend of yeah, I said what I said, Cody. It's the weekend of the 18th. Right now, it's what did he say? The plan is a Cubs game that Friday night. He's a Chicago native, so he's planning like an architecture tour and a bunch of like dinners and stuff to happen that Saturday, and then a brunch that Sunday. And given the year everyone's had and everything going on, he just wants um, something to bring us all together in this even number year. And it looks like it's going to be a good time. Boston Alumni Chapter's backing, and of course, FRAC is. And I know many of you haven't met all the Boston Alumni Chapter bros, especially the younger ones, but our boy Johnny is like Cody, but he's Asian, just with regular food appetite. So I think it's gonna be a good time. I think this week we're putting out the graphic and more info about it. It's just basically Jerry's been on and Vic have been on some of those calls. Fly in Thursday if you want to go early. Me and Omar are gonna go to the soccer game, and then Friday night we'll go to the Cubs game. I think they're playing the Twins if anyone cares. And then Saturday, just a bunch of brotherhood things. So just keep your eyes peeled on that. I mean, Tyrone's very excited about it. All the brothers that I've heard about are excited about it. So just maybe book your tickets or your rental car to get to Chicago this summer. And on the Alumni Day side, I was telling my girlfriend actually, like trying to explain this whole Alumni Day thing to her, and I even told her I've been melancholy about the fraternity. I like to say in this second generation of my life because there's just some concepts I still can't wrap my head around. But if it's one thing I know, the people that have been there for me since I got sick and the people I have the most photos with and most papers about in my room are about all my fraternity brothers. And looking back at all the old recordings and trying to prepare for today and knowing that 6 years ago, I guess we were all locked up. I still can't believe COVID was 5 years, was 6 years ago. That sounds gnarly to me. But to think Joe had been in his fraternity so long, he got his 50-year helmet in the last couple of years, but he came
Okay.
back into the fray, in COVID when he saw this virtual random toast, and something that's continued all these years is it's pretty amazing, honestly. And like everyone said, it's hard to stay in contact, but sometimes you just gotta shoot that message and let your other alumni brothers know that you're thinking about them. And it doesn't have to be fraternity related. It can just be, how are you doing? Maybe will I see you at GCC or some other fraternal event, but we're a brotherhood at the end of the day. Vic always reminds me that it's this thing of ours, this brotherhood of ours, it's not just what's on paper, it's the feeling. And I guess cheers to that, this thing of ours, this brotherhood continuing for years and decades to come, and let the good times roll, not just in New Orleans, but wherever we're at. And James, do you want to say Joe's famous words to head us off? Cody said you were
I'd
doing
be
it,
honored
so
to. All right, here. Make sure that. All right, I'll make sure I'm unmuted first here.
You're good.
A toast to the SIGs. Here's to brothers now and past, to brothers old and young, and as we welcome future brothers, let us have patience to learn from each other. To see the best in all, we need to speak wisely and the will to imagine success. We need the freedom to dream. That is what makes our brotherhood and makes our friendships survive. Here's to Delta Sigma Pi.
and with that, I'm going to stop the recording.